Good morning, distinguished guests, speakers, and delegates. Welcome to day one of the Oman Design and Build Week Symposium. We're thrilled to have you join us this dynamic three-day journey of insights, innovations, and impactful dialogue organized by the Project Management Institute. Let's dive right into the opening panel. We begin with a high-powered panel on project management strategies in construction, moderated by Rafael Annie, the Global Business Development Lead, Construction from PMI. Let's welcome our esteemed panelists, Yahya Al-Balushi, Head of IM&T, Portfolio Innovation and Planning from PDO, Nutan Indulkar, the CEO, Design by Soul Interiors and Landscape, and Dr. Silke A. Krawitz, the CEO and founder of SETA Design. Rafael, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out this morning. I'm sure that more people will join us as we start. As the introducer mentioned, my name is Rafael Annie. I lead the global business development efforts for PMI within the construction space. And I'm here with esteemed guests who I would let themselves introduce themselves. So without no further ado, Yahya, can you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yahya Al-Balushi. I am head of IMT Portfolio Innovation and Planning, looking after engineering and operations within Petroleum Development Oman. I am a PMI instructor authorized, so part of the institution. I have been in this journey within the last 16 years in different sectors, in constructions, aviations, and oil and gas in the project management, and happy to be today here with you guys and sharing the stage with all of you.
Thank you. And Silke, yourself, please introduce yourself.
It's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm Dr. Silke Krawitz. I'm an architect and biophilic designer, and I'm the CEO and founder of SETA Network and SETA Design. We are specialized in building integration of photovoltaics. In biophilic design, this means how to integrate in the best way nature and natural elements into architecture and design, and for the enhanced well-being and also health factors in the architecture sector. So it's my pleasure to be here today in this wonderful symposium. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nutan, please.
Hello, this is Engineer Nutan Indulkar. I am the founder and CEO of Design by Soul Interiors and Landscape, which is basically based in Oman, and now I am expanded in Florida and Colorado. And we are into mindful interior design philosophy, like how the interior design helps elevate your emotional balance and elevate your well-being. That's how we develop our interior design into award-winning design section. So this is Design by Soul Interiors and Landscape. Thank you.
Now, thank you all for introducing yourself. Let me start today's discussion by actually trying to understand how you all define project success. And most importantly, how do you maintain that consistent definition across the different stakeholders that you work with, be it the client, your teams, and all the partners? And Yahya, if you don't mind starting with that, how you define that, please.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it's a good question. So, because we will go to the standard, first of all, of any initiatives or any projects that will have it in different sectors, yeah? So, if we define the success of it, it will be in different elements where I see it. It's more how it's linked to your strategic goal that you will have it in your organizations. And that one will be measured by the outcomes of that project from different aspects of the value that you are generating, from the growth. And that's one also for the organizations, you will be define it in two aspects, which is we see it is the key KPIs that you'll have it, and also OKRs Now, this is the things that we need also to look to it. The key performance indicators for your projects, and also for OKRs, the objectives and result-oriented of the strategy that you are delivering as part of that project. So you need to look to these elements, and that's when it will be really, you will be defining your success of your projects and how you will measure it. Now, if you look to the second part of the questions regarding how you're really having the factor success across different stakeholders, the stakeholders, I think the more you spend in the preparation of the initiation with your to satisfy your stakeholders, could be internally within your organization, could be externally, could be different factors that you have it influence your decisions of your projects. It could be compliance. So all of these you need to look to it, and this is where you will have it a preparations, I think, phase. It's the key for smooth of the constructions of other projects, what you are driving and trying to implement within these projects. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And Silke, yourself, how do you define those and how do you maintain it? Because Yahya has just given a very good indication of how they do the PDU. How do you see it from your own angle?
Yes, also for our sector, I mean, it's very interesting about the strategic success and how to maintain it. But also, as you said, Yahya, it's about defining what is the strategy, how to bring everybody on board. And as we are strategic consultants, our focus is certainly on biophilic design. This means how to integrate nature into the buildings, into the cities and everything. And the main important is, this means based on the biophilic criteria. But for us, success in a building or a city is if the people are feeling well. Because if they feel like they have a good feeling, and they have a healthy attitude, and the environment is very nice to them, and this also means they can create a factor which normally is not defined in the real estate sector, but which we think it's very important, it's happiness. Because everybody is looking for happiness. So how can you do it? It's not something abstract. You cannot define it like in sustainability. Certainly we know also about and we're doing the ESG and ticking the boxes. You know what I mean? All the world is doing it. But I think a very important factor in the future is about how to create buildings, places and cities which create happiness, healthy and well-being of the inhabitants. And now to the second part of your question, how to keep the line. It is important at the start of a project to discuss with the client, with the various stakeholders, and to define the strategy until the end, and also to have the meetings to go through the line. So then it's important to, how can I say, to be sure that the success will be there for everybody.
Sure. And Nutan, yourself, how do you define success and how do you maintain it across the different teams?
For us, interior design, it's just not the aesthetics and the timelines. It connects with the emotional output of it. How the emotions are getting evolved and valued in your spaces. That's the spatial interior designing. It's not just managing the humans and peoples and stakeholders. It's managing their emotions, which are giving the result to the client, the one who is going to be an end user. So that's how we manage with a mindful interior designing.
I see. No, thank you so much for that answer. Silke, if I come to you, design often starts with inspiration. How do you make sure that what it's been designed or what that inspiration is maintained throughout the project and it actually delivers the outcome that you're actually looking for when you're working with a very diverse team?
Yes, there are various levels because first of all, I mean, the creation or the visionary concepts are certainly very important, but we as architects and designers cannot do it like we want. This is about a process to discuss with the client what are the key areas or what are the key factors that they want to reach. And then we make it possible through the design to figure out what are the factors to be done. And then there is a timeline to be set so that we can also, with the collaboration, with the team, with the various stakeholders, we can guarantee that at the end it will be this outcome which is desired from the point of view, also from the design point of view from the beginning.
Sure. No, thank you so much for that. And Nutan, you know, it's interesting what Silke said about how the design. How do you make sure that that is particularly translated into an interior work that you deliver?
So when it comes towards the interior, we just don't look off everything. We look why. What is the use and why is the emotions evolving with that space? Like the bedroom, like the hall, like it's example of like residential, commercial. What is the use? Why? What emotions it's evoking? And with that, we revolve around designing. It's like functional mood boards, and then we go from basically the principle, which is form follows function, and vice versa, which is like, architect, and we also follow, because that gives us exactly why we are doing this. Because here it happens that people come and they are unhappy with spending a lot of money for interior designing because they are not understanding that form follows function. They just do something haphazardly, spending a lot of money, just the aesthetics. But that aesthetic doesn't help them. So we look into that, what emotions it gives, how it satisfies you, how do you feel mentally. And that's how it's turned towards like a mental design happiness. The one which she said, the happiness, our motto is design happiness. So when we design, where your emotions are involved, each and every corner of your space, even commercial space, offices, restaurant, it immediately gives you that feeling. Your five senses are tantalized. If you walk into my office, you will feel that. So that is what is our strategy we are using.
That's wonderful. Yahya, I know you work in a different sector where people don't necessarily get happy easily.
Yes.
However, what I'll ask you is, what are some of the changes you've had to make in complex infrastructure projects, to deliver those accuracies to stakeholders, to try to get them to that happy state?
Right, because we are coming from oil and gas sector, so it's a little bit differently in constructions.
Yes?
So actually, if you look to our construction industry over the last 25 years,
Yes.
it's not much has been improved from how we deliver the projects, yeah? And it's slightly improved, but it's still, we are consuming like we are in the traditional methodologies that we have.
Yep.
We have, especially when we were talking about previous this panel I was discussing with you regarding the small, medium construction projects. The mega projects, that has more attention because we can leverage many things. It has influence requirements from different stakeholders. The changes that we look to is the methodology of the project that you want to implement it. And in the mega projects in the construction or infrastructures that we implement, for example, the advanced work packaging that we mentioned,
Yes.
however, we are lacking of the methodology with the medium and small projects. If you ask me, I have been in this journey of last 2-3 years,
Yes.
specifically with the construction team in PDO, and we are bringing this change. And this change is not only for PDO and Oman,
Yep.
it will be also for the whole world, yeah? We mentioned this.
Yes.
So the path of constructions that you are building it for your specific projects, how you will be from engineering till commissioning, insightful, clear to your stakeholders, what you are expecting to be delivered, that it will make them the happy stage by schedule optimized, the cost optimized, and you are delivering what they need from strategic point of view from the delivery. I think this is where in our industry we are looking after. So that transparency, and also the deliverables on time, that's when it will make them happy.
No, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting point you make there, that can actually make people happy, and the advanced work packaging strategy that you guys are now adapting to a different size of project. Nancy, to deliver projects, you're having to deal with so many stakeholders, so many people. How do you one thing will be interesting is to understand from yourself, how you go about maintaining, that interaction with your clients, your vendors, to make sure you deliver what the clients want and keep into the requirements and standard. What are some of the ideas things they've had to implement in making that happen?
In our interior designing, I believe in having an internal system, like we have a process. And as well as I believe that I'm collaborative and then directive interior designer, which means that collaborative where it comes to us, the clients and all the co-signers, because everyone is going to input those ideas. Those are more important because they're going to use it. So there I become a collaborative. I bring like a idea and we call it emotional mapping. So we have this first with the emotional mapping, so we understand those things. But from there we go for the mood, like, okay, we call it as a mood board, but we use it as a mood specializing, like where your space is connected to the client's need and emotions. That's where we are emotion mapping. And that comes into the, the first reality where it's the mood board and presentation. So that time, client almost understand what they are looking for is there. So this makes very much less of back and forth. And then, because this is one of the great experience during all these years, that when we do our emotional mapping and understanding with the client, and then we come up with this presentation where their emotions and moods are aligned with every co-signers, that gives that result. And then from their collaborative designer, from that my role of collaborative designer, it turns to the directive designer, where then I into more of handling all the stakeholders, all the vendors. So it becomes in a mindful way, understanding of that project, aligning. So that's how we are into it.
That's a very interesting and innovative way. And, Silke, I'll come to you at this point because you are in a sustainable space. And some of these new ideas coming into the market are actually showing that we could deliver, mapping the emotions. From a sustainable point of view, how do you take, what the client wants and actually articulate that in the form of a scope and manage those requirements to make sure that, yes, we're capturing the emotion, but what we're delivering is sustainable from an architectural point of view?
Yeah, I think sustainability in our days is, becoming a standard. Everybody has to do it, I mean, not has to do. I think people are and companies are convinced to do it.
Yeah.
But also what Nutan said now, it's very interesting because I think this is also change which you asked before, the change in, in perspective, what the client wants and how they see it. I would like to summarize it or say it. I'm very happy how she described it, but also it's about the holistic point of view, to see us as human beings. We have a mind, body, and soul, and so there are aspects which normally were not considered in buildings. Normally there are buildings to live, to work, etc., and there are cities, the cities how they are, and you drive from one point to the other. But now they are livable cities, they are resilient cities. There are new aspects about emotions of people which have to be considered. And I think the big change has been through COVID, through all over the place, wherever country you were. I mean, some had more or less the lockdown, but this was changing the mindset. People love to be in nature, people love to have their free time and to have time for themselves. And this, I think, is also what Nutan said, also in the interior design, you have your emotional spaces. And I think this is a big step. And this also enlightens, let's say, all the construction and building sector, isn't it? And I hope also this, I want to add, the investors in the future will see more and more how important this point is, because one thing is the investment and the other thing is who delivers it.
Absolutely. Now, that's a very good point to make, and thank you so much for those points you all have made. In closing, because I'm conscious of time, that we have very little time, I would like each and every one of you to give me your perspective on where you see, the industry going. what role you think innovation and tools will play, and the mindset shift that you think that needs to happen within the construction industry in the near and the future timelines, or long time.
Yeah, it's a good one. So actually, it's complex if you looked at it from different aspects. First of all, the mindset. I think the people who's working on the construction projects and the infrastructures, rather than to be reactive, we need to be proactive. And that's proactive means that we need to leverage in different methodology, as we mentioned, and also technology. Now, technology, it's a key enabler for every work we can do. If we look to it, for the constructions, I think the AI is coming very tough in the different industry. And I spoke about the advanced work packaging, yeah? And this is interesting for our construction projects. When we have a methodology that give you the full visibility of the projects in advance in the initial, and then by the time you execute many of the projects and you have data, and that data can be converted to the AI technology, how to leverage it to predict any risk to the projects, any delays that could be happening, and also the other technology that is the engineering digital twin, that on-time visibility for your stakeholders, for your clients. I think this is also we are heading for the constructions. But again, as I mentioned, the constructions, it's because the atmosphere that they are relaxing from commercial point of view, from the mindset, this is what good to use to do it in the construction, and we can continue. This mindset, it will be really a huge change management required to enable. Where we are heading also, as I mentioned by my colleagues here, is the sustainability. I think sustainability is coming, globally, mandated. So you know that from the construction projects, that the waste that we have it from different category of the waste. So how we can really look into it to be some materials to be recycled, and this is, I think, it will be coming more and more focus in our construction and infrastructure projects. It will be mandated to the constructions companies to do. That now we have many smart cities that has been coming worldwide, yeah? And I think, for example, green certificate for the buildings, it will be coming mandated in future. So this is where I can just summarize these points from technology point of view, compliance, and also the sustainability, that it will be coming more and more in the constructions, and hopefully it will be faster than the previous decade that we see in construction.
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful summary. And Silke, where do you see it as an architect and a biphilic expert in the work?
I think it's very interesting to see the forward-looking, as you said, and also I appreciate what you mentioned about the IE and the technology which is ongoing, but also, as you mentioned, the mindset to be proactive. So the important question from the architectural point of view is how people want to live and what they want in their life. And there, I think there will be the change. 2030, you mentioned 2030 or further on, because it will be heart-driven and it will be human-centered. So our society or also our buildings will be human-centered. This means the real values will be different than the values only for investment, etc. But the real values, and this has to be reflected by design, what it is about well-being, health. After COVID, everybody was looking. Look at the trillions which are spent worldwide for health product, the nutrition, and etc. So it's very important. And I think this can be delivered only by biophilic design, because if we integrate nature and the natural elements into the buildings and into design, also especially into interior design, things will change. And then also the emotions will change, and it's only too positive. And this, I think, are the real economic values of the future, and they can be already, has been done already, scientifically proven that this is an added value also for the investment. So there's an economic value also for biophilic design. It's not a cost, it's an investment. And I think this is the mindset shift, which will come in the future even more.
That's
fantastic.
wonderful. And Nutan, yourself, as an interior designer, what do you see happening as the future, or in the future?
See, as I say, mindful interior designing. It's gonna get into neuro-architectural, AI-based, mindful spatial mapping. Spatial means related to the space mapping. Neuro-architectural, what I'm saying is, the people, yes, they build the places, offices, commercial, everything. But the emotions are gonna make them work more. Emotions are gonna make them feel happy. So it will be towards more of well-being, including this AI and all the technology. And the way biophilic design and the architecture is the part of well-being. And the interior designing, getting into it more, because not just the commercialization, which is around here, just putting some kind of a paneling, this thing gives you aesthetic, and you are spending the same money. And when you start living in that space, you don't feel happy. And then you just feel like I spend the money. Why? Because there is no connection of their emotion, their mind, to that body, of even the space and their own body. So here, that's why I say the neuro-architecture is gonna go more development, and I'm also studying into more like how the mindfulness, its colors, textures, sounds, aromas, everything affect us, everything affect our space. So that's the mindful space. I believe everybody deserves mindful space, even 9-to-5 warriors. Even if we go in the future, it will still remain 9-to-5. Even if everybody goes like a business person, even everybody goes a business person, still it will be a certain time. So everybody deserves their mindful space. So this is the neuro-architectural and AI generated. So that's the well-being.
Now, thank you so much, panelists. I know to most of you, I hope you picked something from what we're saying. So the industry is shifting. There are new processes that will become standards. There will be new materials and new technology that will become standard. And for professionals that work in the industry, that will have to lean more to this new reality. There's a big change management that needs to happen. And with that, we'll say thank you for joining us, and please a round of applause to our wonderful panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
inviting.
very much.
Thank you.